brand new silent killers from Deps. Not to be outdone, Megabass re-releases colors in the Islide, and the official US introduction of a new brand from Japan, bottom up. This is what's new this week at the Hookup Tackle. Welcome to the Hookup Tackle. The Hookup Tackle is the world's largest showcase of Megabass products, featuring baits and colors not found at any other dealer. The Hookup also offers a wide display of OSP, Evergreen, Deps, Lucky Craft, Jackal, and many more. The Hookup Tackle is owned and operated by family, is staffed by guides and verified tackle nerds who love helping anglers elevate their craft. If you're in the Phoenix area, we'd love to have you stop by our showroom and check out the wonderful world of Megabass and the Hookup for yourself. If you shop online, there are almost 10,000 SKUs of Megabass products alone, with hundreds of other companies and new products being added daily. So next time you're looking for that hard to find bait, that color your fish have never seen before, or maybe you just want to elevate your game, look at thehookuptackle.com. What is up, my friends? I am Ben, the Tackle Otaku, with the Hookup Tackle USA. Of course, being joined by my buddy Jeffrey the King. This is what's new this week at the Hookup Tackle, where we highlight new product drops as well as important restocks so you guys can stay on top of the game. What is up, my friend? That's you, Jeff.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh.
What's up?
How's it going, buddy?
It's going well, sir. How are you today?
You just look very different today.
Do I?
But I guess we'll get into that later.
We can talk about that later. I think you were trying to say I look very sexy today. I'm going to look even sexier after this. Cheers, my friends.
They can't see your pants, but you're wearing a lot of green today.
I am. Feeling green.
Is there a reason for that?
Color coordinating. It's my largemouth bass outfit.
Is
Yeah, I'll wear brown next week when I go for smallmouth. Cheers, my friends. Happy Sunday. Isn't it good to have plenty of Orion in the store, Jeff? Would you like one?
No, I'm fine. Because you're going to run out very soon.
Soon? Probably not. I'm excited, but super stoked for Bottom Up to be here. This is a brand we've been trying to get on board for a long time, so really excited to bring them in. Some exciting restocks in Megabass, all kinds of stuff, plus some new releases from Deps. So let's just start there and dive in to the brand new Silent Killer 175 from Deps. So as you guys know, Deps has been redesigning their slide swimmers and their Silent Killers. Slight little shifts. They're including different fins, a different outside body condom. They all have that new kind of, that spring-loaded weight that is designed to give kind of a heartbeat sound. There's new colors coming through in a lot of these as well. So excited to get these in. Stay package. Show this to you guys. So the Silent Killer in Japan, we talk about it quite a bit, is every bit, if not more popular than the slide swimmer is. Here in the US, it feels like the slide swimmer gets all the notoriety. Silent Killer kind of gets forgotten about, but the new Silent Killer is kind of changing that. It's got a great action. You can crank it down, you can wake it, you can definitely walk this thing. So, as this thing moves, you can hear it. So if you move it violently, you're going to get a loud knock, but what it does more than anything is it continues to vibrate. So even as the bait is sitting still, it's putting pulses and vibrations out, which is attracting the fish. So let me run through the colors with you really quick. You're looking at the new Pro Blue Shiner, which is one of the best colors that they have come out with, and definitely a sleeper color. So Pro Blue Shiner is in that guy. It's also available in Nude Black. It's available in Real Ketahasu. And to spec this guy out for you, it's 175 millimeters, 2.5 ounce, right? So now, I would expect, since we're seeing Silent Killers now, we'll probably see slide swimmers shortly after. So keep your eyes on the radar for Silent Killers to come as well. Deadly Ketahasu, Clear or Chartreuse Okawa, Largemouth, Deadly Scale, which is one of my favorite colors, and then of course Clear Wakasagi. So if you guys are looking for, a bait of this style, this is a great chance to pick these up. As you guys know, Deps only makes stuff every once in a while, so don't sleep on them. New Silent Killer 175s available now. While we are on Deps, Jeff, we also see a restock in the Slide Swimmer 115. So this is the smallest slide swimmer size that Deps makes. It's super easy to throw on pretty much any gear. You're looking at 22 grams, so just over 3/4 of an ounce. Just a really cute little glide bait. Moves very easy, you can jerk it, you can glide it, but all the key colors come back. So Butch Brown American Shad. Am I okay today? Butch Brown American Shad is in. Wakasagi, Baby Bass. So if you guys have been waiting on Slide Swimmer 115s, now's a great time to pick those up. Those are back. We also see a restock this week in the Deps Circuit Vibe. So this has been one of our hottest selling blade baits of the last year. You guys have been jacking them on it. So if you have been waiting on any of the key colors like Wakasagi or Metal Ketahasu, Gill, those all return this week in the key size of the 3/8, the 1/2 ounce. So Circuit Vibes are back. We also see a big restock in Evoke square bills this week. So a lot of the key colors in the 2.0s, and the 1.2s and the 1.8s, a lot of the smaller sizes return. So I know these have been pretty run over. They've been hard to get. A lot of you guys have been loving them. This is definitely one of our favorite square bills. We talk about it a lot. We throw it a lot. Super buoyant. You can put this thing right in heavy cover. So again, if you guys have been waiting on anything, those return. And while we're on Evokes, we did a shad fishing video not too long ago, Jeff, and one of the baits that I talked about was the Evoke Shad. Right, and that's definitely one of our favorites. It's been out of stock for quite some time, but Evoke Shads, I don't know what's happening today, Jeff. I think I need more beer. Evoke Shads are back in stock. So if you guys haven't thrown this before, it's a 55 millimeter, 7.8 grams. So it's about a 1/4 ounce. I'll take one out so you guys can check it out. This is definitely a great shad pattern. It's designed to be fished very, very fast, but you can also fish it slow in sweeps, but you can really aggressively move this bait. It's balanced perfectly, so you can get a little more aggressive fish out of it than you can a traditional shad bait. So when you need something that's just super lifelike, this can be a great option for you guys. So again, hasn't been available, I would say maybe almost a year since the last time we saw Deps do an Evoke Shad. So excited to get these guys back in. Available finally again from Deps. All right, Jeff, let's jump over to Megabass. Now, we've been trying to be open about the state of the industry, how things are going to be trickling in, how certain baits are going to become a problem. And a lot of these brands are operating at full capacity and stuff is just evaporating. You know, normal, typical flows coming through, you know, whether it's a domestic brand, a Japanese brand, whatever, is just getting evaporated. So with a lot of this stuff, as you see it, if you can even consider yourself using it over the next 6, 7, 8 months, I would get it, because no guarantee when we're going to see any of this stuff again until things get back on a normal pace, okay? So the reason I'm prefacing that is this is the first time in a while that we've seen a lot of these colors in some of these Megabass items. I know they're going to evaporate. There's no ETA on the return at the moment, which typically means we're looking at maybe later in the year at the earliest before we see them. So let's start right here. A lot of you guys love the Megabass Islide. The 135 and 185 return in a lot of the saltwater colors. Now, these are going to be sinking in the 135, so we're going to start there. Now, again, we talk about this a lot with Megabass baits. These are colors designed for saltwater, so if you guys are saltwater fishing, they should be right in your wheelhouse, but these are also super applicable to freshwater. So, I mean, that's an Ochi Ayu, a skeleton Ochi Ayu color. That's really more of a freshwater color than a saltwater color. Matte Konosirus, right? So that is definitely like a little baby gizzard shad, a little baby striper. So let me take a couple of these out so you guys can see them, and I'll spec them out for you to make sure you guys understand what you've got. So here's the little Islide 135. This is the matte Konosirus color. And just to spec it out for you guys, 135 millimeters, 34 grams. Okay, so you're basically looking at about 1.25 ounces, just a little over 1.25 ounces. This is just a great size for It has a little glide, but it has a great kind of jerking action. So think of this as kind of just like a bigger jerkbait offering, not quite a true glide bait offering. Super effective. So those return. We also see GP Skeleton Bora return in that guy, and GG Bora return in that guy. So again, kind of a transparent shad, baby striper offering, and then a shiny offering. So those return in the 135. Now the 185 sees a huge restock. Okay, so you see GG Rainbow return. Now these are going to be 185 millimeters, 70 grams. Some of these are sinking and some are floating. So this guy is in a slow sink. GLX Konosirus returns. Probably one of the most popular crossover colors. PM Bora returns. This is going to give you kind of a pearl type color. GG Iwashi. And then we see 3 floating versions come. So you see clear Konosirus. That would be a super dope one. GG Bora. And we see 1 freshwater color come. GLX Red Eye Gill. Now remember, in any of the floating ones, super easy to alter these into slow sink or suspending with just the add of weight strips. They even show on the package that it's super easy. They show exactly where to weight them if you guys want to weight them. So, I mean, it takes literally 10 seconds to weight these to be a slow sink or a suspend. So, knock yourself out, guys. Enjoy. If you guys like throwing some of the bigger glide baits, it's a great time to take a look. Back in stock from Megabass Japan.
Another sip.
Mm-hmm. It's Sunday. Sundays are for sipping, Jeff. More restocks. Flap Slap LBOs. Midnight Ghost Chartreuse returns. This color flew out of here the last time we had it. This is that full matte chartreuse pattern. So there's a look at that guy. It's a full matte transparent chartreuse, a little bit of a blue back, just a hit of orange down there. So again, a color designed in salt, but I mean, that's just a straight up smallmouth killer. So those return. We also see a return in a bunch of the other saltwater colors. So GG Sapa returns, GG Koaji returns, Giowashi. So if you guys have been waiting on a restock of any of those are back. And while we are talking about matte chartreuse colors, we also see a restock in the Vibration X Vatalion, as well as the Straight Vatalion and the Konosirus. So if you guys love that kind of transparent matte chartreuse pattern, this is a great time to pick those up. Available again while supplies last from Megabass. And then a couple of freshwater offerings. We do see a decent sized restock of some hard baits. We should see a really big restock of core items over the next week to come, but a couple of key 110s to tell you guys about that are back in stock. So first up, a color that's been out of stock for a while. This is GP Skeleton Tennessee. This is a standby core color. This is a normal color offering in their core lineup. The reason I'm highlighting it is I still feel like this is a really underutilized color. We sell GP Pro Blue, GP Pro Blue 2, probably 20 to 1 over GP Skeleton Tennessee. It's almost an identical color, but you get just this touch hit of chartreuse on the back, which going into spring can really be a key trigger to them. Shad had that little chartreuse tail. Bluegill had that little chartreuse tail. So it's super subtle, but still keeps you in that Pro Blue hue, so those return. We also see a color that we haven't seen in a really long time back from Japan. This is super limited, so these are gonna fly out as soon as you guys see this. M Hot Shad returns. This is probably the last time we're gonna see this guy for the season. I was surprised to even see it sitting in their warehouse, but M Hot Shad basically is a pearl belly, silver sides, chartreuse back. The silver sides are transparent, so you can see through that silver there. So as it goes through the water, you're gonna get just this clear kind of silhouette in there. It's just a very natural color, a great spring trigger color. So M Hot Shad returns again in the 110. All right, let's talk spinnerbaits, Jeff. The SV-3, one of our favorite spinnerbaits, returns in a huge way from Japan. So all the Japan sizing, the Japan colors, make a huge return this week. So if you guys have been waiting on any of these, you know, colors like Pearl Shad, Cotton Candy, right? 5/8 ounce, which is Japan only size. We've got Double Willows. We've got Slow Rolls. All these return. So if you guys have been waiting, Pearl Shad has been the big one. As you guys know, that's a Japan only offering. Hasn't been around for a while. So that returns in almost everything in the SV-3. So if you've been waiting on those are back. All right, a couple other important restocks on Megabass while we're on it. Hazedong Shads, we've been talking about this. Hazedong Shads are going to be a problem this year. They're going to be in, they're going to be out, they're going to be out for long periods of time. They cannot even come close to keeping up with production. So when they come in, we're trying to gobble as much as we can. We're going to let you guys know so you know to grab them. We see some key colors return from Japan this week, so I'm going to fly through these. If you guys have been waiting on Hazedong Shads, Wakasagi makes a return. This is one of our best-selling bait fish patterns. Those are back. Katakuchi, also back. Shirazu, one of the best kind of white type patterns, is back. Green Pumpkin Watermelon returns. And then a great Spring Killer Clear Red returns. There's also a handful of others, and there's also some 4.2 inch sizes that return in these colors as well. So if you guys have been waiting on any Hazedong Shads, now is a great time to pick them up. Also, or on soft plastics, we see a huge restock this week in the TK Twister in both sizes, in the 3.5 and the 4.5 inch size. These guys have been flying out of here. Just a great anytime bait, but a really great bait in the spring. This bait makes for a great flippin' bait. You can punch it very easily. It doesn't have any like twisty things to kind of snag. It's a great bait to use as a back glide. You can use as a jig trailer. Just a supernatural, just kind of a bulky body with a couple of tentacles off of it. So it's just a lifelike glide, very subtle, but very, very effective. So if you guys have been waiting on TK Twisters to return, this is the time. All colors, all sizes, back from Japan. All right, Jeff, it is time.
It's time?
Yep. We're gonna drink to this. Cheers, my friends. Happy Sunday.
Is a certain company not going to like us after you talk about this new company? For reasons that people may or may never know?
We're gonna find out. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
Excited to get these guys in. So, what happens when a hard bait designer and a soft bait designer from a big Japanese lure manufacturer become friends and start their own company? Do you know?
What happens?
Bottom up. Bottom up happens. So this is a company, if you guys are fans of Japanese shore fishing 1v1 challenges, right? Like we are. We love watching, you know, the challenge videos, lure magazines, so on and so forth. Then you guys have definitely seen Bottom Up as a new up-and-coming brand. They're making big splashes in Japan. It's headed by two very smart designers and bait makers. So they're really putting a lot of thought into their baits, and there's some really creative stuff coming from them. We're going to highlight the line. We should see a really nice flow coming through of the whole product line as they develop it. So this is going to be the official launch, the official introduction. I'm really excited for you guys to get these baits in your hands, see what they have been working on. So we're going to start with hard baits, go to soft baits. Again, it's still a pretty new company. It's still relatively in its infant stages, I would say. So predominantly soft baits at this point, but everything they're putting out is with thought in mind. They've basically taken some designs that they have helped develop and bring to market in other companies and tweaked them to be exactly the way they wanted it to be, a little bit different. So we're going to start here with crankbait. So let's start right here. You're going to notice that there are two different styles. So this is the bottom up Reezy. Now, if you want to pay attention to their logo or what Reezy means, it means more real, more dizzy. Right? Makes sense? So it's a combination of real and dizzy. Reezy. Right? That makes sense. Why didn't you think of this, Jeff? So what this is talking about. So basically there's two different kinds. There is the Reezy, and then there's the Reezy Appeal Plus, and I'll talk about the difference here. So just pick it out. It's basically a 1/4 ounce, however you cut it, right? So here is a look at the Reezy. Now, what they have done is they have basically developed a shad crankbait hybrid, if you will. Now, inside, there are fixed internal balancing weights here on the bottom that are going to give the bait perfect balance. What you also are probably not seeing, I don't know if you can see it there or not, but there is also a weight in the head of the bait. And what that's going to do is that's going to give it a different pitch than a traditional crankbait. Most crankbaits, when they're weighted, they're always weighted at the bottom to kind of keel it. This head weight kind of throws it off balance a little bit, forces a different action in the tank that you will see as this bait swims. They also wanted to make sure that this bait always maintained a true balance. So most crankbaits that are built have to incorporate room in the head for the lip to go in. What Bottom Up did is they developed the bait first, and then they developed their own unique way of attaching this circuit board lip to the outside of the bait so that they could use the full chamber of the bait. So you're just going to get a different action, a different vibration, a totally different swim. So exciting. Now, the regular Reezy, it's going to be an ABS plastic. You're going to hear just a little bit of movement in there. All right, just a little bit of sound. So very, very subtle. It's going to have more of it's considered a floating crankbait, but it's going to be a very slow float. So almost a true suspend on this. Bunch of colors. Now, the Appeal Plus version, right, is going to be made out of a bone material instead of an ABS plastic material. And then they've also put a little tungsten weight on the front. You're going to get a little different sound. Right, so you get a little bit more sound, and with the bone material over the ABS material, it's going to be a little bit more buoyancy. So you're going to have a little higher float. So this guy will be a little bit better for banging into cover and deflecting and then having it kind of come back up. The ABS plastic will be better when you need something super finesse, or maybe just kind of sweep it and then have it pause and kind of stay still. Now, some great color options coming down the pipe. I expect to see these expand a lot, but you've got matte finishes, you've got, foil finishes, you've got pearlescent finishes. So lots of good color offerings in both. So there you go. There's a look at the new Reezy. All right, up next in their hard bait is the bait that really kind of put them on the map. It's difficult to take a spinnerbait and totally redesign it. And this isn't necessarily a total redesign, but it is a new take and a new twist on the spinnerbait. And here you have the Beeble. Now, this is a bait. This is a small offering right now, just a handful of colors and sizes. We should see a much bigger offering as we go through here. But let me take one out of the package so you guys can understand exactly what is happening here. Now, Jeff, you and I were out yesterday throwing a lot of this new bottom-up stuff around. You chucked the Beeble quite a bit yesterday. What were your thoughts on this guy?
Well, it's small, it's compact,
Yep.
but the vibration feels like a full-size spinnerbait.
It's legit.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, so what you'll notice obviously there are, traditional blades like you would expect from a spinnerbait, but there's also this fixed blade, almost like a chatterbait blade, that is going to flex as it goes through the water, and it basically just gives the bait a little more sideways motion. Right, so it's going to have a little vibration that's going to not just have it a straight tracking blade spinning, it's also going to give it a little side-to-side movement similar to an actual fish that swims. And this is going to become a concept throughout the line. If you look at fish as they swim naturally through the water, most baits that we have here, right, are, as we move them, they kind of move up and down, right, and that's kind of the nature of them. What Bottom Up is trying to do is they're trying to bring back the idea that as fish move, very rarely in water does a bluegill or a shad move up and down, they move side to side, right? So that's what they're trying to incorporate into a lot of the stuff. So just a different take on it. It definitely works as you pull it through the water. You can definitely feel the vibration. It gives a little added flash as well. And then there's lots of, you know, little small things. It's a hand-tied skirt, hand-trimmed skirt. It's a little bit longer shank hook. So they're trying to eliminate the need for necessarily needing a trailer hook because it's sunken back a little bit. All of their hooks, they have deals with Hayabusa, they have deals with Nogales, right? So they're using really high quality hooks. Most of them have some type of nano coating to them, so they're gonna be light wire, but very strong as well. So you get away with light line, you could also get away with heavy line. So if you guys are looking for a new take on a spinnerbait, just something different, there's a look at the new Beeble. All right, while we are kind of talking about this side-to-side movement versus vertical up and down movement, Jeff, let's talk about maybe a lost in translation type word, I would say. This is the new frish. Now, previously to this guy, most minnow-shaped type baits, again, were designed for kind of an up and down movement, right? You twitch your rod and the bait just kind of moves up and down as it goes. They wanted to design the frish to have side-to-side movement. It's going to have body roll side-to-side like a hard bait would, but then the tail is designed a special way to where it's going to move side-to-side instead of up and down. So let me give you a good look at the frish here. Now, this is a bait that can be used a lot of different ways. You can fish it on a ball head. When it's used on a ball head, it's going to have a really exaggerated flashing movement, right? So it's going to really move a lot side to side. It's an amazing drop shot bait. Some guys are Nico rigging it as well. You can free rig this guy. I see you over there, free rig champion. So lots of different stuff you can do. Again, it's small little takes on this type of bait, but I think you guys are going to be impressed with the movement. You're going to catch a ton of fish on this thing. Now, they also built this as a non-salt plastic, so it's going to have a little bit more durability to it. It's going to have a little more of a neutral fall to it as well, and you're going to get some of these cleaner colors. So that is the new Frish, 3.5 inches on that guy. There you go, new from bottom up. Okay, this is a bait that's going to look very similar to some other baits, but it's got a unique twist on it. This is the bottom up Bull's Hog. Now the Bull's Hog comes as a standard size. This is a 3-inch size. It also comes as a Bull's Hog Daddy. So that's going to be a 4-inch size. And then they've got this cute little baby size as well. Now, Jeff, we were using these yesterday as jig trailers, right? So this is a bait that's designed, you can use this as a jig trailer. You can use this on its own, free rig, Jika rig, however you want to do it is totally fine. Let me take one out and let you guys take a peek. Now, it's going to look very similar to kind of an OSP Live Beaver at first, right? Because it's got these big kind of claw appendages, but it has a totally different movement to it than the OSP is going to do. You'll notice that each claw has grooves in the claw itself. See that? It's kind of got these little segments. What that's going to do is instead of it just kind of being like a dolphin kick like an OSP, it's going to be more of a sideways kick, right? So as this comes through the water, you're going to get more of that side-to-side motion of those claws. Again, trying to get back to that concept that fish move side-to-side and less up and down. So it's just going to give a different action in the water. You can Texas rig this. You can use it as a jig trailer. It does have perfect little settings for the hook there. So if you want to use it as a Texas rig, it's got a little place, a slit in the back where the hook will lay and a place that will cover your hook to keep it weedless. So a lot of thought given to this bait. Of course, you know, every leg and appendage is going to do something different, but once you see it in the water, you'll understand. Definitely a unique bait. Super stoked to have these. So again, 3-inch size, I'm going to say is probably going to be your main jig trailer size free rig. The little guy, maybe drop shot or micro jig, and then the Bull's Hog Daddy is going to be a great one to Texas rig, to flip, Jika rig, that kind of stuff. So there you go, the Bull's Hog series from Bottom Up, available now. All right, also from Bottom Up, they have a unique shrimp bait called the Hurry Shrimp. Now these are going to be available in a 3-inch and a 4-inch size. Now, let me take one out so you can really get the full effect here. Now, what's cool about the Hurry Shrimp is, of course, they are going to have a shrimp type profile, right? They're going to have a little bit larger claws. The claws are going to be designed to give you just that very subtle kicking motion. Now, with most of the bottom-up baits, they are going to have kind of a 2-in-1 or even 3-in-1 type action of the baits based on how you want to use them. So of course, you can just rig this bait exactly as it is. It's going to be a great free rig bait. It's going to have a lot of articulation in the back. You'll notice it's got these little grooves, which allow the bait to have a little bit of a swimming motion. What it also does is it allows you to back glide this bait. So if you rig it backwards, it's going to have a great back gliding, very subtle back gliding motion that's actually going to kick in the back very subtly. And then as you pull it forward, it's going to actually move forward without kind of looking goofy. So you can literally kind of crawl it along the bottom just like a real crawdad, pull it up over and let it fall back down, and it will kind of glide back in. It's going to be super subtle but very effective. Now, if you want to use it more as a trailer, or you don't need this extra glide, you can literally just cut this piece off on the back, and now you have a blunt section, and you've got a little bit better section for just a shorter bait or more of a jig trailer size. So a lot of thought given to this. Once you guys see it in the water and use it, you're going to understand the full effectiveness of this. But the Hurry Shrimp, available in a bunch of colors, 2 sizes, new from bottom up. All right, another subtle little bait, the Breaver. Okay, not to be mistaken with a beaver, Jeff. This is Breaver. Now, there are several different sizes. This is the brand new size, the Breaver Micro. Okay, so this is a little tiny 3-inch size. Now, this is another little multi-purpose bait, and this guy is so small, so subtle, so cute. Okay, so what they have done is they have taken a traditional crawler, okay, and they have added a little paddle tail to it. What that paddle tail does is on the fall, let's say you're fishing it on a drop shot or a free rig or jika rig, but mainly probably a drop shot and a free rig. As it falls, you're going to get that little shad kick, but then as the weight stops, it is going to horizontal plane and fall. So similar to something like maybe an OSP Dolive Beaver and HP Shad Tail that's falling, and then it stops, then it kind of goes to that horizontal fall. That's what you have here. Now, the effectiveness of the bait as it comes is great, but again, going back to being multi-purpose, if you cut that little shad tail off and take it off, now you have a wacky rig. So it has a little bulb in the middle, so it's the perfect rigging hole there. So you can put it on a little hook, and it's going to just have this little subtle quiver, whether it's on a drop shot, whether you're just wacky rigging it. So again, very finesse, little spinning rod, super bait finesse on this size. The larger sizes will come down the pipe as well. So you basically have 2 in 1. You got a little boot tail, a little shad tail, and you have a little crawler style worm. So if that speaks to you, it's available in a bunch of colors. That is the Breaver Micro. All right, one of the baits that I'm super excited about from this line, if you guys follow these guys on Instagram, you've seen them using this bait a lot. And this is also one of their original baits. This is the Scooper Frog. Okay, now, Scooper Frog is a very unique frog. It is made out of a elastomer type plastic, so it's going to have a lot of durability to it, but they have really thought this frog through. So here you go, here's a look at it. It's obviously a very, very tiny little frog, but a lot of thought has gone into this, right? So they've made the front a little bit more bulbous to give yourself a little bit more bite in the hook. You'll notice that there are slits both in the top and in the bottom. And unlike most elastic baits that are really solid, it can be very difficult for the hook to penetrate through elastic. So they've thought that through, and they've made it a little more hollow so that the hook penetration, if you use the right hook, can be very good and very efficient. Now, this is a pretty small bait, so you're going to need to use a small little hook, probably size 2 or a size 3, maybe even a size 4, depending on the hook that you guys are using. These back legs are designed to just have a very natural kind of frog kick to it. So the original purpose obviously was to be used as a topwater frog style bait, and it's super effective as that. Now, what a lot of guys have started using this bait as is a free rig bait, a Jika rig bait, even a drop shot bait. So as this thing falls through the water, it's gonna have that same kind of crazy frog kick action those fish aren't used to seeing. It's very, very lifelike. So you're giving the fish a different look down there on the bottom that they haven't seen before. So, you know, relatively expensive because they're only 3 baits to a package, but again, because they're elastic, they're gonna give you guys a lot of use, so you should get a ton of durability out of these things. You're not gonna plow through them. So I think you're gonna be really, really happy and excited to use these guys. So the brand new Scooper Frog, available now. All right, swim baits.
Finally. Now you're speaking my language.
I know, Jeff. Relax there, guy. All right, the Volop Swimmer. Now, every brand has a paddle tail swim bait, right? And we were kind of just talking about this. Like, it's really hard to take a lot of baits and really innovate it, right? So a lot of innovation comes from just small little tweaks. It just changes it very slightly, okay? And that's what you're gonna kind of get from the Volop Swimmer. Is it another paddle tail swim bait? Yes. Is it a different paddle tail swim bait? Yes. And when you see it in the water, you'll understand. Now, first off, you're gonna notice it's a triangle shape, right? So it's wider at the bottom than it is on the top. You have reinforcement here in the lip. They want you to use this thing on an EWG style hook. Of course, you could use it with a twist lock if you prefer. It does have the slits top and back to allow your hook to lay in there. This bait vibrates super hard. It's designed to give you a lot of flash on the front, so you're gonna get a vibration, but even at slow speed of that head, they want that tail just going crazy in the back. So you've just got a very unique, lifelike, hard-hitting action from a swim bait. It's available in 2 sizes, so you have the 4.2-inch size, and you have a smaller 3.3-inch size. So you guys are gonna catch a ton of fish on this thing. Once you see it, you're gonna be a believer in it. So the Volop Swimmer from bottom up. All right, Jeff, let's talk about jigs and some jig trailers. So one of the most popular techniques in Japan are micro jigs, and especially micro jigs that can be fished both on the bottom and in a horizontal fashion. And that's what brings us to the Cosmo jig. Now, the Cosmo jig is a tungsten micro jig. It's got a lot of the things that you would expect it to have. It's got a special line tie that's designed to make this thing fish perfectly horizontal, as well as on the bottom as a drag type bait. It's got very soft, very thin skirt material, so you're gonna get a great look under the water. You have a special hook designed by Nogales that is also a nano coating. You also have a wire keeper on there. So if you do want to fish this in a horizontal fashion, you got to throw it into some grass or some trees and kind of pull it up through stuff. You don't have to worry about your trailer slipping there. Now, the recommended trailer for this is the MPS. Now, this is a small little shrimp type trailer. Let's just take one out of the bag. You can use this on its own. You can use this as a little finesse drop shot bait. You can use this small Texas rig, you know, really light type bait, but it is designed really to go on this little jig. So you can see it as you rig it, that the two are built for each other perfectly. Let's get it on there real quick. This is like the opposite of your style of fishing, Jeff.
Quite possibly.
I think we should do a 1v1 challenge of micro jig fishing, you and me. How does that sound?
You can just win.
Torturous? So there you go. There is a look at that guy with the trailer on there. And again, once you see this thing in the water, it moves great. It's got an amazing horizontal lift to it. Lots of movement in this. So I know you guys are going to crush them on this thing. So that is the Cosmo along with the MPS 2.4. Now, they also have another jig, and that is the Gap jig. Now, the Gap jig is designed to be a finesse profile, kind of pitch-in, flip-in type jig. Now, the Gap jig is available in several different sizes, up to 9 grams. You're gonna have like 5/16, you're gonna have quarter, you're gonna have 3/8. Here's a look at the Gap jig. So, super, super compact little pitch-in jig, right? So this is gonna be great when you need something just very micro in size. Tungsten head, again, they did a special eye here in the hook. So where the eye comes together is actually inside the tungsten. So there's no risk of your knot ever slipping and catching. They pushed the weed guard way up front here, right by the eye, so that you have plenty of gap and plenty of bite between that hook point and the eye. It's one of the big problems with compact tungsten jigs. We talk about it a lot with like a Kitech jig. They get bit, but there's such a little gap between that hook point and that tiny little hook that you lose a lot of fish. They tried to eliminate that by increasing the amount of gap there so that your hook up ratio is great. The tungsten extends on the shaft of the hook, so you have a very balanced fall and a very balanced feel. You also have the wire keeper, and again, this is a specially designed short shank wide gap hook just for this jig. You have that soft little micro skirt material. Just going to be a really cool one to kind of pitch around when you need something really small. Now, as far as trailers go, you could use that same trailer, that MPS, but they also make a big size in that. This also works great as a free rig, great on its own. You could also use that smaller size beaver, so any of those will be great as a trailer. And of course, Jeff, they make super dope fishing hats that make you look sexy. Am I right?
Super dope hats?
Yeah, I'm gonna drink to that.
Can you put on the red one just real fast?
There is no red one, Jeff.
I'm sorry. The black one.
Color doesn't matter. You've told us that before.
Just put on the black one real quick. I need to see something.
You just like to see me change?
Uh-huh.
I see.
I want to see your luscious locks.
You know what? I'm gonna buy both of these because it's literally the most comfortable hat that I have had on. Okay, black. I'm the real Slim Shady. Is that what you were waiting for? I'm a fan, Jeff. I am a fan.
You look just like M. Take off the glasses for 2 seconds.
Back to the black.
You literally look like Eminem. That's
if you ask me to take off my pants here in a second, I'm gonna be excited.
Crazy.
I have been drinking half an Oran.
That is the same hat Eminem wears.
You're welcome, Jeff. Is this like some highlight reel shit, or what do you got going here, Jeff? You're creeping me out. Can I get back to the hat? We know I look good. Okay, so you have a highly water-resistant hat, which is great when you're fishing in mist, when you're fishing in any type of light rainfall. What's dope about this is instead of it just being like a actual rain cap, it has a sweat band on the inside. So remember, most of Japan is relatively, I hate to use the word tropical, but it's kind of tropical. It's pretty damn humid, right? So when you go there in the summer, you're gonna get rain, you're gonna get 90, 100 degrees, but lots of humidity. So this is built for that. So you got the sweat band on the inside. You also have vent holes all around the hat. So your head is actually sitting on mesh, and it's fully vented all the way around. So if it's raining, that water is just gonna trickle right off. If you're sweating, you're gonna be able to vent and breathe. So super dope hat. If it speaks to you, if you like to look like me or apparently like Eminem, you can grab one. Black, green, boom. Should we have different people try it on? So based on your head style, you can know if you look cool or not. Hey Griff, come here.
Oh god.
Griff, come here. Try that on. See if it fits your style head. Look at that clean haircut.
He's looking good.
Dude, you look good in that hat.
I look good in everything.
How's it feel?
It's comfortable.
It is comfortable, huh?
Super light.
Yeah. All right. You'll be getting one?
Sure.
Okay. Take it off.
That's what I'm saying. Eminem wears
All right,
the same
Kellen,
hat.
try that. What say you?
Pretty
It's
comfy. It's
yeah.
light.
Hey, you can adjust it, but it's dope, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that? Oh yeah.
Do you see yourself wearing that?
Gonna be rocking this everywhere.
Hell yeah. Cool dudes are going to wear
Mill
this. Right?
Ave?
Yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah, get all the ladies, right? Good luck. I'm going to get them first. All right, some quick restock notes. Imakatsu Magnum Gill Sonics return. This is the 105 millimeter lipless. It's 1.2 ounce. Basically just a big lipless that looks like super realistic bluegill patterns. Really dope. A lot of you guys love this bait, so we see a big restock in those. We also see an introduction of the Zinx Mini Super Blade with the abalone blades. So this is a really great spinnerbait from Imakatsu. Now you're going to get that abalone flash on the blades to just give you a little bit different look. Something different. We're always looking for just something different, so those are available now. Also, while we're talking about little micro jigs, not to be outdone, OSP releases some smaller size of the OSP Jig 05, otherwise known as the Tugger jig. Now this is their little micro jig. You get it down into some 2-gram sizes, 3-gram sizes, right? So if you love OSP jigs, this is a great one. Again, designed for both horizontal and bottom type fishing. So that guy is in. And then we also see the brand new OSP Jig 04, otherwise known as the Synchro jig. So this is going to be a small, compact, kind of round-headed jig. Let me take one out so you can really get a full sense of this guy. Okay, so there's the little Synchro jig. So they designed it, you can certainly put a little trailer, like a little shrimp, on the back of it, a little 3-inch dough life stick, but they designed it with some longer tentacles as well, so if you want to throw it just as it is, almost like a hair jig, or again, a horizontal ball head, you can. Lots of gap there in between the hook point and the eye, so great hook sets. So again, a couple of nice little finesse jig offerings. We love finesse jigs from OSP new this week. All right, Jeff, and I know you love Topwater, right?
What you got for me?
Let's take one out of the package so you could get the full
effect.
The full effect.
Okay.
Here. Okay.
I'm super excited for this.
You love frogs, right?
I love them, dude.
Okay. And you love prop baits.
Not exactly.
You're supposed
I would never combine both of them, obviously.
Oh, well, then you're not thinking like Savage. Introducing the Savage Prop Minnow. So you didn't know you needed this?
I don't know if I still need it.
Oh, you need this.
Oh, do I need to?
Yeah. Okay, so you have basically a hollow-bodied frog, right? So you got a hollow body there and kind of a shad shape, but with a prop. So now you effectively have something like a plopper style bait now that you could pitch back into the shit and fish it out without having to worry about treble hooks dangling down on there. Those annoying treble hooks. Am I right? So there you go.
That's what I need
Yeah.
in my life. Okay.
Yeah. All right, so there you go, Jeff. An exciting new hollow-bodied prop bait just for you. We're going to be waiting for that YouTube drop to happen.
I got you.
Okay?
I got
There you
you.
go. Brand new prop minnow from Savage, available in a bunch of colors. Available now. All right, fly through a couple of restocks. A lot of you guys have been loving the new colors in the Evergreen Combat Crank series, otherwise known as the CR series. All the colors return in all the sizes. So new colors like hologram Wakasagi, skeleton Wakasagi, cold shad, right? We see them in the 6s, the 8s, the 16s, all the sizes, all back in stock this week from Evergreen. We also see a huge restock this week in PB Rats. So a lot of you guys have been waiting on a return of a lot of the key colors in the PB Rats. Also some new packaging, Jeff,
see that.
which is kind of nice. So if you guys have been waiting on any colors, this is a great time. Check them out. The grays return, the whites return, the browns return, even the pinks return. So a great week to scoop up some PB Rats. This is definitely our favorite rat bait. So all those are back in stock this week from PB Rat. All right, how about a couple of specials?
Specials.
Yeah, let's do it. So we have teamed up with Daiwa. You know, we've been talking a lot about their new J Flouro series of Samurai Flouro. We've been, you know, testing this since the beginning. This is the new hidden concept version, which is the camo version. So it is available in filler spools. It is available in bulk spools. They want people to try it. I want people to try it because I think you should always kind of compare it to what you've been using and know if what you're using is the best or maybe there's something else out there. We've been having great success with this. I think it's worth taking a stab. So if you guys are down to take a stab or maybe you've been using it and you love it, we're going to run 25% off all J Flouro Samurai fluorocarbon through the end of the weekend. So take advantage. It's a great time to stock up. All sizes are in, both in filler and bulk spools. So save yourself 25%. Grab some. There you go. Happy shopping. And while we are on 25% off, Jeff, let's do the same thing for Spro plastics. Now, as you remember, Spro came out with some made in Japan plastics this year at ICAST. A lot of them have been catching fish like crazy. There's a handful. There's paddle tail baits, there's drop shot baits, there's Ned rig baits, right? So if you guys haven't used these yet and want to try them and just give something different a shot, we're gonna do the same thing through the end of the weekend. 25% off all Spro soft plastics starting now. Have at it. Okay, really quick. A big restock this week from a lot of Megabass rod lines, and I want to fill you guys in. So first up, Orochi sees a big restock. So a lot of the key models that you guys have been waiting on. Orochi Leviathan, their big swim bait rod. Orochi Launcher, the best deep crank rod on the planet. Diablo Spec R, Enforcer, so on and so forth. All return this week from Orochi. Now, we should see a nice little supply, but I know a lot of you guys have been waiting on these, so if you've been waiting on any Orochi models, grab them now. We also see a huge restock in Valkyrie this week. So a lot of key models, a 7-1 medium heavy. This is my go-to like mid crankbait rod, small chatterbait rod. Those return. We also see a return of the 6.6 medium plus jerkbait rod. So this one is dope for some of those larger jerkbaits, 110 plus 2, 110 max LBO, Ito Shiner, so on and so forth. This one crushes. And then the 6.9 medium plus is great for like 110 and smaller. So a little bit lighter in the tip. Perfect for those lighter duty jerkbaits. Those return as well. So the jerkbait rods, the crankbait rods, all back in Valkyrie this week. We also see a return in some key Destroyer P5 models. So the X-Bites is back. This is the go-to, finesse jig rod. If you're looking for the ultimate sensitivity, fast action bottom contact from Megabass, the X-Bites is where it's at. 1/4 to 1 ounce lure rating. It's just a great all-around rod for the bottom. Those return. We also see a return in the Super Destroyer. Super Destroyer is a great shorter rod at 6.9, so great at skipping, great at accurate presentations. You can use it as a bottom contact. You could also use it for things like a spinnerbait, a wake bait, that kind of stuff. It's great for all that. And then we also see another return of the Tequila back rack. So this is the 7-foot swim bait rod, good for up to 4 ounce. You can cast an 8-inch mag draft. You can throw any of those Islides that we spoke about earlier on this thing. And it's just so light. Jeff and I were tossing this around yesterday, and you forget how light this rod is after using bigger rods. So all those return this week from Megabass. All right, it's also a huge week in travel rods from Megabass. So a lot of the Valkyrie World Expeditions return. We see a big restock in a lot of the Trizas. The Jade Python comes back, and Orochi XXX. If you guys have been waiting on travel rods, this is a great week to look for those, both a 3-piece and 4-piece. We also see a return this week of the Triza travel bag. So this is the hard case designed to fit any of these multi-piece rods inside. You can keep reels attached. You can just put them in there without reels. It does have an outer sleeve as well. So if you want to put a little tackle box or whatever miscellaneous stuff in there, you can. These don't come around that often, so if you guys have been waiting on the cases, it's a great time to scoop them up. All this back this week from Megabass. All right, Jeff, that is a wrap. It didn't seem like that much stuff, but as we started going through, that's a lot of stuff.
There's a lot of new stuff.
I'm a little overwhelmed. I think I'm going to have to drink. Last chance, Jeff. You want one?
This is your 3rd can of this video.
You've been very quiet today. I saw you starting to fall asleep. But for the rest of us, this is exciting stuff because we like catching them. So,
That's
cheers.
Right.
Cheers to that, my friends. Happy Sunday. Jeff, you're dead to me. You're done. Just go back to bed. I'm going to stay drinking, play with tackle. If you guys have any questions on anything we covered, drop it down below in the comments and we will definitely get to it. Jeff, if he can stay awake, we'll leave links to the products if you guys want to check them out closer. And again, as usual, guys, on behalf of myself and everybody here at the Hookup Tackle, thank you guys for the support. Thank you for the business. We appreciate you giving us time on your Sunday morning. So cheers, my friends. Have a great weekend. Happy Sunday.
I'm leaving
Peace.
one link, and it's the hat. That's
Well,
the only link I'm leaving.
It's a good beer drinking hat, Jeff.